Money, 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 money. This has got to be the best resource that we have tried as a family to hone those money management skills. So we have been going through this resource called Before Personal Finance through Timberdoodle as a family. And we have tried so many different finance resources. And I have to tell you that this one has been the most engaging and interactive and has spurred on the most discussions for our family. Before Personal Finance is included in Timberdoodle's fourth grade curriculum kit, but of course it can be purchased outside of the kit. It's intended for ages 8 to 12 years old, and it was created by a mother-son team, Charla and Jack McKinley. It's pretty cool that Jack helped to write this book because he brings in a fresh perspective that is up to date and really is able to relate to today's generation. This book contains 10 lesson adventures that I'm sure that your kids will step into the world of financial confidence. It worked out great to work through this resource together as a family because we were able to have those meaningful discussions that might not have happened otherwise if we had independently worked through this program. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera around so I can show you the inside of this resource. Inside, you're going to learn about budgeting, earning, spending, giving, borrowing, government, banks, investing, and insurance. And the lessons are divided up into a teaching portion, an activity, budget, and a quiz. And I like how it's broken down to show you what the expectations are. So for the teaching portion, it should take about 30 minutes. And then the activity should take about 45 minutes. And the budget portion should take about 30 minutes. And the quiz should take about 15 minutes. And so obviously, you wouldn't be doing an entire lesson in one day. It's more like you'd be doing it in 4 days for each lesson: the teaching, activity, budget, and quiz. And if you're grading your student, we roughly want to expect that 30% of the grade comes from the activity, and then 20% of the grade comes from the scene budget, the budgeting part, and then 50% will come from the quiz for each lesson. And each lesson will be broken up into 10 points. So since there are 10 lessons in this resource, that's going to ultimately add up to 100 attainable points. Scene budgets and quizzes are graded for correctness, while activities are graded subjectively based on your student's effort. Each lesson starts with a teacher's corner for the instructor. Then you go on to set up a scene where you imagine or create a future you where you have a hypothetical situation. So you're going to start out as a 13-year-old. And as a 13-year-old, you get to decide on how you earn money, what stuff you buy, and the money that you give to help others, and also money that you're going to save for the future. The first teaching section is about what money is. And we're going to talk about what money has been throughout the years and what money is around the world and how money is made and how we use money, ways to spend money, the difference between goods and services, and what makes a certain item cost what it is. And that leads into our first activity to determine whether we are spenders or savers. So we go through this quiz to figure that out. And then we also go through a little bit of calculating of money. And then here comes the fun part where we get to build our budget based on the scenario that is actually going to build on itself from lesson to lesson. So lesson 1, we're going to start with $300 from gifts. In all the lessons, we get to use this QR code throughout the book for an added twist. So this is really fun because our kids love to do this part. The kids get to spin a wheel and it's going to add a twist to our plot because life throws unexpected events at you. And some of the plots are positive, like your boss notices your hard work and gives you a nice bonus of $200, Or maybe it's a negative where you sat and broke your precious plastic retainer and that replacement costs $200. And knowing that life throws you twists, we have to figure out, based on our choices, how we're going to spend our money from the store and decide what we would like to purchase. And then here is where we get to weigh the pros and cons of the financial choices that we make. And it's pretty fun to see how these real life scenarios and choices that we make impact our financial future. You get to place the money that we started with, and then how much money we anticipate making for the year. And then box 3 is our plot twist from spinning the wheel. And box 4 is how much we spent at the store. And then box 5 also gives us a chance to be generous and decide, do we want to give this year? And then we make that calculation, do all the calculation, and figure out how much money we're left with at the end of the year. And every lesson gives you a do-over page. So it's an extra budget sheet to give you a chance to try again and see how different choices affect your budget. And then the next page is just a little scratch page where if you want to jot some notes or write your calculations, this is where you would do it. And then the resource also adds in some fun little activities like logic puzzles. So here you have a word search. And then at the end of each lesson, we learn about people who have made a difference in our financial world. I really like this part because it brings in history to what we're learning. And then at the very end of the lesson, you have your quiz. And all the answers to the quiz can be found by using that QR code that we used for the plot twist. And then you also get a chance to reflect at the very end about all our actions. The next lesson is the same format, and pretty much all the lessons are this format. So you have your teacher's corner, that is a section for the instructor, and then we're building on our future you. So last time we were 13 years old, and now we are 14 years old. Because we're growing up, we are going to have a little bit of a different scenario. Maybe we'll have more opportunities for what kind of a job that we can take on. Or maybe we're going to be driving and we need to save up money for a car. So that's why it's pretty neat to be able to see what future you looks like. So in lesson 2, we get to learn about budgeting and the different components of a budget. Then we have a lesson activity. This time we get to plan a party. So that was kind of fun to be able to have a set budget and then plan a party based on that budget. Here's a part where you get to create your budget. So this time you get to start with how much you ended up with from the previous lesson. And this time you get to take on a simple job like babysitting, home projects, or lawn care. So you get to choose one of those. And then you add on your plot twist by spinning the wheel from the QR code. And then decide how much you're going to spend in the store. And then choose how much you're going to give or not give. And then calculate all of that to figure out how much you end up with at the end of the year. And then here's a do-over page. So we kind of had fun with it where when we did the do-over page, we might have chosen a situation where we overspent and saw where we ended with that. Or whether we saved too much and then see where we ended with that. And then you have a scratch page. Here, a little activity page to do, and a page on people who have made a difference on our financial world, and the quiz with all the answers from that QR code like I had explained before, and then ending with a reflection page. So pretty much the format is exactly the same throughout the entire resource. By the last lesson, lesson 10, your future you will be 22 years old. And in the end, you have some pages onto some key financial related terms. Here's a little plug-in for the next resource if you want to continue in your financial journey. So Charla and Jack have also created Beyond Personal Finance. And this one is for teens. So it would be a 1-semester curriculum for them. And pretty much they can get half a credit towards economics or finance or whatever you want to call it. Like I had shared before, we have to say that this is probably our most favorite resource that we've tried that concerns money because of how engaging and interactive the resource is with all its real life scenarios that are included within. And my favorites are all the deep and meaningful discussions that we have had about various topics that are going to be memorable and helpful and prepare our children for adulthood. Make sure to check out the Timberdoodle links that I have down below in the description box if you'd like more information about Before Personal Finance. Hope this was helpful. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for being here and hope to see you soon. Bye.